Hey there, it's Mike, here to show you how to disaggregate data and compare it to the school-wide average so we can see if we have an equity gap that we want to address. Earlier, we looked at how to average like the whole group's data. Imagine a school of only 40 students for simplicity here. And we found the average of the absences. For a quick review, let's just show you again. You go into the cell, you want to average underneath all the data, and it's pretty smart. It gets a sense of what you want to do. But if it doesn't give you that average guess, you just type average, parentheses, and then you select all the cells that you want to average, and then you can hit enter, and boom, you have the average. So we can do that for math test scores also. Average, select the cells that you want. Let's go ahead and take its suggestion this time. If you like its suggestion, just click on it and you're done. Again, equals, always type equals before you type any formula. Average, and we'll take their suggestion again. 02 to 041, you can click on it and there it is. So that was the first step, getting the average of the whole school's data. And now we're going to find the specific data for each of these races. And at your school, you'll maybe have a sense of certain racial groups that might be underserved. Usually it doesn't take a rocket scientist to notice that you have possibly some historically underserved groups. And so we do this to be clear about that and take action. So let's just say that we first want to disaggregate data for the Iron Man race. And for absences, what you do is instead of average, we're going to do average if. Okay, so depending on the criteria of race, we're going to average only the numbers that match Iron Man. So we type average if. Now the criteria range is where we're going to find the race name. That's the criteria we're looking for. So we're looking for that in this whole list. So we're going to select this whole list, J2 to J41. That's where all the race data lives. Now, comma. Comma moves us on to the criterion. That's like which race are we looking for in this particular disaggregation. And we're looking for Iron Man. And we just typed Iron Man in J48. So we're going to click on J48. And that says, look in these orange cells where all the race data is for this purple cell for Iron Man. Okay, now we type comma. And now we're saying what numbers we want to average if it matches that criteria. So now we're going to go back to selecting where the numbers are. In this case, we're trying to find disaggregated absence data. So go ahead and do that. Now we've typed all three of the things. So you can put that close parentheses and enter. And the average number of absences for Ironman is 1. So let's do that again with 50-yard race. Silly names for races, just wanted to keep it neutral for now. So let's disaggregate absence data for 50-yard. Again, equals average if, and it helps you. The criteria range is, here's the criteria. We're looking for what race data is there in that column. And the criterion that we're trying to look up is that this particular race called 50-yard. And we always type comma after each one of these pieces. And now, where's that average range? Where is the data that we're trying to average the numbers themselves? So then we'll highlight those numbers, and you can do high to low or low to high, it doesn't matter. L2 to L41, enter, and now we see the average for 50-yard. If you don't like all those decimal points, you can go to Format, Number, and choose a number that's got fewer decimal points after it. All right, let's do one more just for repetition. If you're still with us, let's check the marathon group. And eventually you want to do this for all your groups to see how they compare to the average. We already see that we have a group that's overrepresented in absences, right? 50-yard is greater than our school average, which means there's an equity gap right there. Somehow we are not supporting our students in the 50-yard student group um, to attend school at the same rate as the rest of the school. So let's see how marathon compares. Again, equals average if my cat doesn't like the equity gap. He's complaining about it. So the criteria range again is the list of the races. And the criterion is the race that we just typed in that we're inquiring about right now. And we're going to find the average only of marathon this time in this range of numbers. Close parentheses. And now we have the marathon. And again, if you don't like all those decimal points, you can go and change the number style to a shorter one. Marathon is just under the average, so there's not an equity gap for marathon, but there is for 50-yard. All right, so next step would be to find out an intervention that might meet the needs of our 50-yard group because we see that they're being underserved at this point. And that's where our school counseling expertise is probably way greater than our Excel and Sheets expertise. And you know what to do, or you know who to talk to in your school community, get some supplementary data to help our 50-yard students attend school at least the same rate as the rest of their peers on average. All right, getting a little more complicated. Hope you're still with me, and thanks for diving into this stuff.